Hey guys, I don't even know how to say this, Tani. Do I
Just say it.
Yeah.
Just say it.
Look, guys, we're in trouble. We need your help, but more importantly, they need your help. So we have been doing all our end of financial year stuff for the accountants, and we knew things were tight, but we didn't realise that we have gone into a very big negative loss. Tani has got the figure from the accounting. We've actually, I think it's a $17,000 loss for this financial year. And, you know, I've always prided on myself on saying, look, I'm a not-for-profit organisation. I'm not here for money. Because I can tell you, if you're doing it right, there is no money. Well, we've certainly run at a loss this year. Now, we've had some unexpected expenses. We've had sick animals. Our van just hit us for over $3,000 odd. And we've still got to spend another $2,000. They're waiting for the part to come in. People actually really have this misconception that, you know, when you put $475 or $450 on a dog, that we're making $400 on a dog. It's not like that at all. Some animals, when we put them in, if you've got an animal with crypto orchid, you know, the operation is $700 and you're adopting it out for $450. You've still got to vaccinate it, you've still got to flea and worm it. You've got to do whatever you've got to do for that dog, and then, you know,
the microchipping, the everything.
Everything's got to do, and plus you're caring for the animal. You know, it's costing you to feed it and
the staff
everything. Exactly, and we do it because they don't deserve what's happened to them. You know, every animal in a perfect world would be in a home. But we know that's not the case. We have people dumping animals. We have people, you know, there's deceased estates, and, you know, and rescues are full, and people are doing dastardly things to their poor animals. And, you know, we have to pick up those pieces. And we don't control what comes into the pound. But we can control the outcome of what happens to those animals in 95%. And the other 5% are animals that have been involved and killed other animals, and there is no decision. They've got orders on them. There's nothing we can do for them. But 95% of the time, we can control what happens to those animals. If they come in sick, there is a buffer zone that council can spend money on. And after that, they can't. Which means those animals can be euthanized. Council cannot spend taxpayers' money for thousands of dollars to fix an animal. And it might not even be thousands of dollars. It might be $700. Their buffer might be $400 or $500. That $200 difference means a life. So what are we going to do? We're going to put our hands up and say, we'll spend the difference. And that's what we have done. We've had animals come into impound, and they are in very poor condition, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking, they're underweight, they're covered in fleas,
mange,
they've got mange,
scabs and scars
but
all
we
over
can't
them.
stop their owners from taking their animals home. We can't. Under legislation, we don't have the power to stop them from taking their animal. That's where we've got to do our cruelty reports and log it so that somebody will follow up. But that doesn't stop us worrying about what's going to happen to that animal. So therefore, we go over, we send them home with a 20-kilo bag of food. We have already washed the dog and put a flea treatment on it. We put a Provecto on it for mange or ear mites, because that dog doesn't deserve to be in that condition. but it comes at a cost to us. It's a cost that we don't get paid for. It comes out of our money. Now, what we get paid virtually only covers wages. So a lot of the time, we rely on those kind people that have become rescue warriors. Those $10 and $5 a week, that's where we put that money to use, is to help those animals. And we are happy to do it. But we've come up short. We've come up short of $17,000. Now I have a board to answer to. And you know what? I know they know why I do it. They know we're here for the animals. But I know they're going to turn around and ask me, how can I bring it back down? And sure, I cannot help these animals. I can think, well, there's nothing I can do with that one. But that's not who we are. That's not why you follow us. You know that we do everything for those animals. Our Sunday singers reflect that. Our animal plights reflect that. Our freedom busters reflect that. We are here to be their voice. We've had a hard year. There's no doubt about it. But what happens if we don't? So we are doing a freedom buster. I am going to ask if you can spare anything, please will you make a donation? It is tax deductible. I don't know what the outcome will be if I cannot bring it back into line. I don't know. Maybe they'll vote me out. Maybe they'll tell me that I've got to reduce the wages. Maybe they'll say to me, Dee, you can't save everything. I don't know. The board are animal-loving people. That's why they're on the board. But we can't run at a loss. Now, we couldn't help the van breaking down. And it was actually quite a serious thing. We didn't actually realise that the fuel pump was leaking onto the muffler. Can you imagine what would have happened if we didn't figure it out? Goodness. But you know what? We do what we do because we want to make a difference. I don't apologise for anything that we ever do because we are their voice. And, you know, we work really hard to help these animals. And so I just wanted to give you a little bit of insight on some of the things that we have done. Now, bear in mind, we're not at the end of June yet. So we are hoping that we can bring in some very desperate donations. But so far, 525 animals have been helped until yesterday. 525 animals. That's what has crossed over that we have helped. That's not how many animals we've helped get home by tracking owners down, coming up with solutions, doing assisted rehomings. But what I can tell you is we did 44 Freedom Busters last financial year. 44 animals made it home because we helped. Now we do Freedom Busters. People do donate. But I will let you know that sometimes we've run out of time raising money and we've put that money in ourselves because we had to get an animal home by a certain time. And we might have been $100 or $200 short. We've put that in. We've made that happen alongside many beautiful people that have made that happen. You know, we did a fundraiser trying to get dogs home, like Pixie, back to WA. I can assure you what we raised hasn't covered it. No. But she's going on a plane on Thursday. We've paid the difference. Because sometimes you just have to do what's right, not what's easy. And I always live by that motto, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
I'll say to the girls, don't take the easy way out. We've got to come up with solutions. And in fact, I'm actually desperately trying to come up with some solutions for another scenario that's happening that you will hear about in coming days. It shouldn't be my problem, but it is my problem, because they started here with us and they went off somewhere else and now they're in trouble. And so I don't wash my hands of these animals. Start to finish, we're here. We need to do what we can, but we are in trouble. Plain and simple, guys, we're in trouble, and I need to try and get that $17,000 down to, I'm not asking for $30,000 and put us in the red. That's not what I'm about. I'm here for the animals. But I do need to show the board that what we do matters. That shows in the numbers that we do. It does matter. But these people are going to say, you cannot keep running at a loss, Dee. Something's got to give. I don't want to lose a staff member. I don't want any staff members to lose hours. I personally would like not to lose my job. Don might want me to lose my job. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to fight for these animals and speak up and say, hey guys, we're coming up short, will you help us? Because you know what? If I was sitting back watching a rescue group do all these amazing things and then they got into trouble and closed down, or, you know, whatever, I think, why didn't they put their hand up and say, we need help? I mean, we say it all the time to owners. Don't avoid us that your dog's in the pound. Put your hand up and say, I need help. There's always somebody that is there to help. And I always say that to people, you know. And this week I've been doing some stuff to help people that if I didn't help them, their dogs were going to be seized and they were going to probably be euthanized because they're in breach of their dangerous dog orders, you know. And it's simply for the fact is that their dogs were not desexed and when they were required to be. Now, I've organised the desexing. We knew the people didn't have the money. I've organised the desexing. This week alone, I went and picked up 3 dogs and I drove them to their desexing appointment, and then I went and picked them up and drove them home, because there's, you know, I have to do what I have to do to help those animals. And that's who we are. That's who my team are. And we hope that you really appreciate that we're asking for help. And please, we are tax deductible. I know that we have a lot of followers overseas, and I'm sorry, I know that that doesn't mean anything to you, but I hope to God that it means enough that you love what we do and you want to continue helping us help these beautiful animals, because you know what? They don't deserve the life they've got. Half of these dogs, they've got their do-overs. They've been let down once, you know, and I'm incredibly blessed to be part of that. I couldn't imagine doing anything else, actually. You know, I've started off in this field later in life. I wish to God I found my calling when I was younger. But, you know, through everything that we give up doing this, you know, we go through financial turmoils, trying to figure out how to do everything, how to save everything, how to do everything. It comes at an emotional toll. You've been through that yourself, haven't you, Tani?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd have 2 years off.
And even like working every day when Janine was off, it's too much with the things that we see, the things that we feel. and see and deal with, and holding the broken. And I've got a photo, and Tani has got a photo of that, of her holding Arlo's paw in here and trying to say, we won't hurt you, mate. We know that someone hurt you. We're not that people. And, you know, it takes a toll on our family lives as well, because, you know, Christmas Day, I left my family's Christmas do to go down and catch Pole, a dog that had been dumped, that was so scared, that was trying to lash out at anybody that went near, just to get him off the street into a kennel where he was safe, that he wouldn't get hit by a car, he wouldn't hurt somebody to cause him to be hurt, you know what I mean? You know, my family's like, are you serious, Steve? You're leaving the Christmas party? I'm like, yeah, I am. And I did it again on my birthday. On my birthday dinner, I drove a dog home that was found in the field. And that's what I do. And that's what we all do. We're in it for the long haul, but, you know, unfortunately we've had some major hits this year financially. Things that you don't expect. But we're hoping that you guys will get behind us. You know, we hate asking you, we really do. But I'm here putting my hand up and saying, guys, will you give me a helping hand? Yet again. But, you know, there's no finer cause than helping an animal in need. Thanks, guys. Hey, guys, I did forget. If you do want to know how to donate, we actually can be, it can be done in a number of ways. There's obviously direct deposit, which will list our bank details. You can do it over the phone with a credit card, and also we do have PayPal as well. So we will put that in the description, and we will put it on the post when we list it on Facebook as well. So there'll be a number of ways that you can donate. So thank you so much once again.